Hi Collective, welcome to my channel, Cosmic Divine Seeker. Hi everyone, so it's going to be for the full moon in Aquarius. Next up is Gemini's, right? Well, so you can definitely take a look at multiple readings that I am putting out for this full moon in Aquarius, right? Collectively, I do talk about the energies that are coming in, and some of them can definitely resonate with more of you, okay? Because it is a very strong energy that's coming in. I can only pull in on so many different energies, right? Take whatever you feel is for you. Any part that is not fitting, leave it out. And this can be a timeless reading as well, because a source will guide others to this reading when it's resonating with them, depending on the cosmic alignments. But if you do want to catch my content in real time as I drop videos, then definitely subscribe to the channel and claim the readings as you watch them by liking the videos, because that is how you do an energetic exchange with me, and it lets me know that they're resonating with you. I start to feel your impressions, and the more you come out my readings collectively too. So know that, right? That definitely helps with you. And still, like I said, you could be in alignment, but then a reading doesn't fit because it could be for another soul family member. And if that's the case, just leave it out. You always want to trust what you're feeling, right? Okay. So anyway, I've been feeling called to explaining a lot more than normal. Normally, that's what's different about me, is I don't explain how to take my readings in my channel, but sources take it over. All right. Anyways, so we've got 2 full moons in the month of August, right? So they're 2 super moons, so they're more powerful, right? And this blue moon is really like a big reveal. I'm getting, this first one's a really big one for releasing, second one's more for a reveal. Okay, so there's definitely that. All right. Let's see though, for Gemini. What's going on with Gemini for this full moon in Aquarius source? What's going on for Geminis? 8 of Swords is the first card out, followed by Ace of Pentacles. Wow, okay. You could be seeing 10-10. If this could be confirmation that you're changing paradigms. It's like a paradigm shift for you. 10 of Swords to the 10 of Cups. Your time of struggle, Gemini. This painful situation, whenever this is over. You're coming to a completion. You're coming to a new beginning. I feel that you've been in this for quite some time, actually. But you're finally going to be able to close this out. You're in this 9 of Pentacles energy, coming strong out in the reading. You're finally holding your power. You were in a stuck situation. You were unclear about the path that you were going down or where to go. But you finally imposed some sort of boundaries that finally is closing out this 10 of Swords situation that was ongoing for quite some time. Because I'm getting the final part for you is that you needed to impose these boundaries. That is why you were staying in this. You could have been getting many signs going back and forth, like, this is for me, this is not for me, this is for me. That, like, you were very, very uncertain. So you were projecting that uncertainty out into the universe. But as soon as you reclaimed your power, imposed boundaries, it brought injustice. Even though you were in this situation, I feel, far longer than need be, everything that you were undergoing was accounted for. And now justice is coming in for that. Justice is definitely here. 8 of Wands. Things are going to happen very fast. Confirmation of that. Ace of Swords. To the world. This cycle is going to close out very fast for you. There's something that's going to be coming in fast for you with the Knight of Swords. You're showing me this King of Pentacles energy. I don't know if the speaker is around you or if it's your energy. Are you embodying this King of Pentacles energy? Let's clarify, Gemini. Let's find out more. What's this Ace of Swords about? Wow. Queen of Swords reversed with the 6 of Swords. You're moving away from a situation that was having you in this Queen of Swords reverse energy. You were trapped and stuck in a situation because you were in this Queen of Swords reverse energy. Now that's really harsh. I'm getting... You know, reversals are for stronger energies, right? The Queen of Swords, she very much strategizes, she plans, she, you know, is very communicative. She can be very emotionally undetached and really focused on planning and strategizing. But reverse, more of what I'm getting is it's kind of like you are starting to get like bitter and like very, like maybe aggressive, maybe a little bit too much in control. You were micromanaging too much. And that is, in fact, what was allowing you to be stuck, because you were not embracing the situation that you were in. That you weren't able to see why it was happening to you. You were just bitter and angry. And you were in a painful situation and probably an injustice. And that's right, but that's not how you get out of a situation. So it took you a little bit to balance these energies out. You needed to know that justice is going to come around. And it's like justice has been trying to come to you, but until you got away from this Queen of Swords reversed, you weren't able to get your justice. And it's like somebody knew that, I'm getting. Because I'm getting this energy as it's like somebody was like fighting with you. King of Swords energy. So it's like somebody was keeping you in this energy. I don't know who this would be for you. That's for you to decide. But yeah, maybe you're realizing it and you recalled your power and you stopped letting them get you in this energy. Knight of Swords. Show me more. What's happening fast here for Gemini? All in divine timing. Seven of Pentacles. There's some sort of ending that's happening abruptly. You see the Five of Swords there. She's holding a dagger. She's ready to fight. I feel like this is the energy you've been in, Gemini. You've been in this fighting energy. And it's like you needed to put the dagger down because that's not what this was about. You needed to restore homeostasis, I'm hearing, within. By doing so is what allows justice to come in. Because justice isn't on your terms. And I think that that is something that you've needed to work on. You needed to know that justice doesn't work when you feel that it's going to happen. It's when the divine feels that it's going to happen. So you could have been in this hermit energy. You were sat out, Gemini. I'm getting like you were put in time out. She's sitting out. You were forced to go within. You were forced to do this healing. And a lot of it's because a lot of the responses and the way that you were reacting was due to trauma. And that is exactly why you were reacting in ways you shouldn't have. It's like you were seeing things far too heavier than they were meant to be. So it's like you felt as though you were entitled to be in this Queen of Swords reverse energy to maybe surrounding people, but in fact they didn't deserve that. So you were actually creating more karma and distancing yourself further and further away from what you were meant to have because of you were responding incorrectly. I know that's how the message is coming out. If you don't feel that way, it might not be your reading. I feel that you either are going to get the realization that, you know what, yeah, you're right. Like, I handled the situation wrong. Maybe I was projecting my energy. I'm going to give you an example in a minute. And if you don't feel that this is you, you could be getting the realization anywhere around the next full moon cycle or around the next week or whatever you're getting this. But if it's not, then it's not yours. Don't claim it. Here's an example. It's like when I get really, really upset sometimes at one of my children, it'll put me in a mood and then I'll just be upset. And there has been times in the past where I've taken out my anger on all of my children, you know, and some of them, it might not even have been their fault at all. You know, where normally it's like my children are fighting and arguing like over a movie and then nobody gets the movie, you know, so it's like I punish all of them. But this is a little bit different. It's like, It's something like that where it goes on a much deeper level than something simple like that. Like normally you can tell when you react like that, and then of course you go back, you apologize. Like, I'm sorry I reacted this way. It's because I was upset. I didn't mean to take my anger, frustration out on you. It was intended for this person. This is more like you didn't even realize. This full moon could be revealing it to you that, in fact, the reason why you were doing this was because of deep emotional trauma. So whatever that is, this has been the biggest theme that has been coming out, is that deep emotional trauma is coming to the surface, and it needs to be closed out in phases, and it comes out in layers. And that's why these supermoons, these 4 that we have in alignment, are very big. It started with the first full moon in Capricorn in Cancer season, okay? And, you know, Cancer is all about home and relationships and the structure of them within that Capricorn full moon. So that was our first one, right? And we've been feeling this, and it's been building, and you go from the relationships and situations and how people are connected to you. And then we get into that Leo season where it's all about us and our energy. And now we're getting 2 more doses of this super full moon energy, which now it's like that first moon's kind of revealing and pulling up deep things within your subconscious, deep trauma wounds within your family, right? Your relationships. And then in that Leo energy really gets you in that feeling of, you know, how you show up in the world, what's important to you, right? And then you're incorporating that with the relationships and the stuff that's been subconsciously coming up through the Cancer season. And now in Leo season, do you see how these really play a role? These planetary alignments, these synchronistic events, they really do pull things up. And that's what I mean. There's like layers to this. It's like for some of you, some deep emotional trauma came up in that Cancer full moon energy, and it's like it brought it up to the surface, but then you still, maybe you felt a little bit of it, but then you released part of it from these deep wounds within your chakras into your body, right? Because we hold trauma within our body. I know I have. I've been like, everything's been like in my back. Like, I don't even know what all this stuff is. And this next full moon, like, I've been getting visions and all sorts of stuff that have been coming up ever since my childhood. Things that I haven't thought about that I haven't ever thought about, really. If you really think about it, pay attention to your dreams and just the flashes. And sometimes things get brought up. Like, your kids may ask you questions about your child and things like that. Like, my son brought up another trauma to me. He was like, Mom, where were you born? Where did you move? Where did you live? What kind of house did you have? And that brought up a trauma where he was like, wow, if we had a 3-story house, I would. And it brought up a trauma to me. Like, yes, I remember that, and how hurt I was when my father had moved us out of that home that I was so happy in, and all my friends, and all that anger and rage that I had when he had moved me away from my boyfriend and away from my friends, and the trauma and the woundings that did to me. And it was just simply that little question. I was like, oh my gosh, he said that one thing to me, and all of this stuff is coming up. And I'm like, these were wounds that I had deep within that I haven't thought about until it was brought to the surface. So sometimes these things get triggered out of us in ways you wouldn't suspect. And just little things people may say, or conversations you walk into on whatever. So it's really important. Like, clearly I didn't process all of that in the exact moment. 1333 is to say that I didn't process all of those emotions then and there when my son was just questioning me about places that I've lived. But it made me think about it later. It gave me that realization, like, wow, yeah, that's where I was going with this today. So you see what I mean? Like, things are getting triggered out of you to come to the surface. So be careful in Leo season. Be careful with this full moon, because sometimes, like that, I'm getting that signal, shoot the messenger. Because sometimes source will use people to trigger us, to say things, to get us to pull a wound. And you know if something triggers you, in fact, that it's actually wounding, right? Something triggers you, it upsets you. Why? There's a reason why it's triggering you. There's really a deep-rooted thing there. So pay attention to the triggers and the things that come about to you, the things that bother you, the things that you're envious of, the things that, because you're never supposed to be envious, people. When you're shown what you want through somebody else, it's actually its way of saying, like, look at what you can have. When you're happy for somebody, you know, you're going to be getting blessed with that next when it's your turn. So there's this energy here, like I was saying, got really distracted, is that things are happening in phases. So some of these things, like, they came up, bubbled up in July, And now in these 2 full moons, I'm getting there's this big closing out of this next full moon. So August 1st, it's going to be like second part of releasing things. And this blue moon that comes in, for some of you, it's going to be finally, you know, maybe it takes 3 phases. Maybe it takes all 4 supermoons. I don't know. But blue moons are rare and are filled with luck and abundance and mystery. So for a lot of you, it's like that moon is like, I really feel bringing a lot of unexpected realizations, opportunities, options, you know, because the moons really get you in your emotions and feelings and really get you to want to be expressive of that. So there could be a lot of people coming out, you know, revealing love, and just there's so much like unexpectedness that is coming. So I don't know. Anyways, you see what I'm getting with this is that there's something very, very big, you know. Okay. And not to mention, we've got Saturn in retrograde right now, which is the ruler of karma. And we have Chiron, I said that wrong, Chiron, which is our wounded warrior, our asteroid, right? That it is going retrograde as well. And when those go retrograde, it's a big introspection and it's a big closing out of karma and karmic cycles and loops and patterns and woundings that have been deep from within. Because if you know Chiron being the wounded healer, like literally if you look into that within your birth chart, finding out the placements, all of that, you can literally look into finding the trauma is you're going to have to live through in this lifetime. We really do have blueprints of our life here. That's what your astrological chart is. That is what your unique chart is, your birth chart. I do have a birth chart analyzer down below in my description box where you could take a look at that. It's a free one. It's through Astro Cafe. You just need to know your place of birth, your time, and you can find out more what's in your chart, more what's going on for you. So taking a look into that could really help you. But for a lot of you, you know, these things are going to be bubbling up, so pay attention to that, right? Know to release, right? Give people time to, because a lot of people are going to be feeling very expressive at this time. So don't fight for the limelight, having the center of attention. Everybody's kind of feeling that. This Leo energy really gets everybody, because we're in Leo season, to really feel, you know, that their life is, you know, living life for you, and that empowered energy and all of that. So everybody's feeling very expressive right now, right? So it can cause a lot of aggression too, because a lot of people want to compete for that attention, to be heard, and standing your grounds, right? This is a really confident time too. It's like whether, you know, listening and working with your partner can further relationships. It could cause some of you to end relationships too, because you could be really realizing a lot of incompatibilities, or you can be realizing like this is a time where you're, you know, if anything's hidden, it's coming to the surface too with the 7 of Swords. They just showed me with the Star card. But you could be healing these traumas that make you want to run away, that make you feel as though you're not lovable enough, and these people that want to be runners and chasers in those games, people could really be speaking up too. Like if you've been a people pleaser and hiding things, you could be really calling people out, like, you know what, this always bothers me when you do this. And now you're really confident to call people out. And some people might be, you know what, well, I can't handle that, fine then, bye. And others of you might be like, really? Wow, okay, well, I want to work on this. I don't want to lose you, so I will work on this. That's what I mean. Like, you really get to see whether or not you want to work on these relationships, or whether or not you want to, it's time for new, right? So either way, this is, you know, because for a lot of you, you've trauma bonded. You could be in a relationship that you found with somebody that matches your trauma, and you may be healing and releasing this trauma, and then you may realize like, wow, yeah, this isn't in alignment with what I want anymore. It was, but it's not now, because now I've healed this trauma, right? So every situation is different. These are collective readings, so I have to keep it that way, right? So I try to take a look and analyze different angles, right? Gemini, you guys are constantly doing that anyways, with the difference. More of a complicated reading, but me having Gemini in my Venus allows me to tap more into you guys, right? So you will always have a reading around me around these full moons. Look at this, Star card energy, major healing, wish fulfillment, alignments, Star system Sirius, Leo season. We're definitely aligning with our heart's desire, our destiny, right? So All right, I really took over with the channeled messages, so I feel like I'm kind of done here with the tarot reading for you. But I do see the King and Queen of Cups with the Chariot. Oh my gosh, this high-level soulmates. Traveling together, moving together, elevating together. I'm getting a lot of different things here. The Queen and the Cups are the highest love cards for me. Definitely soulmates. With the Chariot, it's really taking charge of control. This Chariot is elevated above others. So you could be elevating together. You could be moving away from people and situations that have been holding you back. Communication is key that I'm getting very much here. Right? And the biggest thing that I've been getting is a lot of emotional woundings are coming out. And there's this big purification and healing. Finding new ways to do things. Not the way in the past. It's like if you leave a situation mad and angry, and you go looking for another and you haven't learned the lesson, you're going to repeat that. So the biggest thing here is it's like you're learning how to release things out of love. You're learning how to know that things happen for you and not to you. 2100 as I say that. Releasing things with love. That's why it's really important. Like for some of you, you could just really be realizing an incompatibility. And for that, you're still grateful and thankful because that person could have healed some woundings for you. And that's why this Eight of Cups keeps coming out, because it is the end of the road for a lot of relationships, right? And the Eight of Cups, like she's looking back at awe, like, thank you. Like, you turned me into loving myself. You turned me into this beautiful being. Like, without you, I wouldn't have found my way. I wouldn't have known what love was, what the love was that I desired. Right? So it's like you're walking away actually advancing. That's why I got like readings that say walking away happily, and you had the key the entire time and you had to unlock it, and just there's all sorts of stuff, because for a lot of you, like, you're realizing that. For some of you, you know, whatever these situations that are incompatible with, you know, for some of you it could be friends, it could be relationships, it could be family members. There's, you know, collectively you got to take it all into consideration. So you know your situation, you know how to assess it. 2211, as I say that, definitely sit with yourself, spend time in quiet, trust what you feel, right? This is just to give you guidance here. It's the energies that are connecting with. All right, guys, well, that's reading I had for you. I'm sending love and light to all of you. Definitely, if you like my content, then subscribe, right? It's always fun getting my readings in real time, whether they resonate with you or not. As I always talk about fun, cosmic alignments, what's going on with astrology and tarot, into my spiritual messages and teachings and all of that. So if you like that style, definitely subscribe so you will get my readings in real time. Right? And know the more that you connect with me, the more I feel your energy, right? Even if you're just liking the videos, commenting is neat, as it allows you to connect with others, soul family members, as we do all come together energetically. So know that. And yeah, just by watching me, I feel your energy. So more and more you're going to be coming up my readings. Know that. All right. Love you all. Bye.